Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Bont Vaypor 2023 carbon cycling shoes. The new Vaypor 2023 shoes that we have here are the latest addition to the Bont Cycling lineup and offer a streamlined design with more adjustability and refined shape to accommodate a wider range of riders. Packaging wise, it can be very simple. This is actually the shipping box, just comes in a little envelope, and then you can see a little bit of damage just from shipping, but basic branding printed on there and on the sides. We'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over specs. So retail price on this is $449. It's more affordable than the other Bont Vaypor shoes. It has the heat moldable sole, so you can really customize the fit if needed. You also have a new unidirectional carbon fiber sole, so you can see it's actually one direction with the arrow pointed forward. You have a new adjustable 3-bolt setup, so you have fore and aft adjustment, which gives you more range for cleat positioning. You also have their dual BOA Li2 dials, which is the latest and greatest. So you have micro tightening and micro loosening, which is a really nice feature. So on the ride, you can tighten it or rotate the other way to loosen it. They also have the Cobra 9 sole. So this is an upgraded sole with a dual density EVA foam and carbon core. So a really cool feature and should be more comfortable. They've also really lightened and refined the shape, so you can see it looks more like streamlined cycling shoes on the market, and it feels quite a bit lighter. As far as what comes with this, obviously you get the shoes, basic BOA tag on here. Inside here, you also get the Bont Cycling bag, which is a nice branded bag, and it's a great way to travel or store the shoes without them getting dusty and dirty. Now let's take a look at the weight of the shoes. We have the Euro 44 in the wide, so it's a little bit heavier than the standard version. Comes in at only 218 grams for the left shoe. And then the right shoe, that comes in at a little bit lighter, 214, so a lot lighter than the Vaypor S shoes we previously reviewed. The new Bont Vaypor 2023 shoes combine the signature features of Bont Cycling shoes into a more universally appealing shape. So you can see much more standard design with a simple tongue. You have less branding, and it's a little bit more narrow through it, even though it still has a wide anatomical fit. While the shoes are still quite wide, you have that iconic wraparound carbon sole, which gives you that bathtub effect on the rear. So nice and stiff here. And then not only are these shoes quite a bit lighter than the Vaypor S, but they also have a simplified closure system. So again, traditional tongue with a 3-row lacing pattern that's very easy to adjust and opens up really wide. We have the black color here, but they also have a white variation. Currently, there are no other color options, and we're hopeful they'll add more in the future, such as the reflex versions we have on the Vaypor S. Otherwise, a really attractive shoe. You can see the all-black design will really pair with just about anything. You have the Bont logo debossed here, so right on the rear. You almost can't see it at certain angles. The BC logo on the back, and then Bont Cycling on the sole, which is a place most people won't ever see. So a pretty sleek design, and the BOA dials are actually color matched. So on the white one, these are an off-white. On the black one, it's the black variation. Obviously, the most obvious visual change to these is the closure system. So while the Vaypor S has a wraparound design, this actually has a more traditional tongue and then outer. So you have 2-row lacing, 3-row lacing, one on the top that controls the heel here, or the ankle. And you can see as you tighten it, I'll actually bring it in. Then you have a second zone on the bottom with 2 rows. So have traditional plastic wrappers around here, and then textile ones on the front, which avoid any pressure points. Very easy to adjust, and what's great about the Li2 dials, you can see they're very sleek, so low profile, nice grip around the edges, and then you have micro tightening and then micro loosening, so you can really customize the fit. So if you're doing a long ride, you can adjust it by a few clicks to make it a little bit looser, and then tighten it down if you're doing a big sprint. What I also like about this new closure system is that if you open it up, you can see it really opens up nice and wide. So you can easily get your foot in here, and that's something you can't do with the Vaypor S, as a wraparound design just doesn't open up as much. With these, you have plenty of slack, and again, very easy to put on and take off. As far as the uppers, these have the same synthetic Duralite material you find in the other Vaypor shoes. Very lightweight, not much structure here, and very durable. So you can see it really flexes very easily. You have tons of perforations on the side too, so you can see all these little holes here on the front, tongue, and then the edges. And it's actually easier to see those perforations if I put a light on the inside. So you can see nice and open, same thing on the other end, and then on the front, and then the tongue section as well. So pretty cool setup, and again, very durable. You have all the extra support you need on the front toe. So you have a nice toe guard here, and again, that bathtub style rear, which actually extends the carbon all the way up and gives you a lot of support. As far as the outsole, you can see unidirectional carbon fiber. So it has a really cool weave. It almost looks like a basket weave, and it's one direction. So you can see the little arrow goes forward. Gives you a really nice stiffness. And this is heat moldable as well, so you can throw in the oven to adjust the fit if needed. Bont actually says you don't probably need to do that, as they've really improved and dialed in the fit. You have a toe bumper, so you can see a little simple grippy material on the front, and a replaceable heel bumper. And that should protect the heels, or should protect the outsole from damage. You can also see there's an adjustable cleat position. You have forward and aft adjustment with the 3-bolt setup. That works with the Shimano SPD or Lokio. You don't have the Lokio memory eyelet, which would be a 4th hole in the middle, but you have a lot of these nice radial markings, so very easy to position. And you can see the center is marked, and then little distances off the center are all positioned really easily. So it makes it really easy to remove cleats and then reinstall them. As far as the insole, these actually have the upgraded Cobra 9 insoles. So these actually have a carbon core in them. So you can see the back is stiffer, while the front is simple EVA foam. So with this dual setup, you get nice stiffness where you need it, and additional arch support. You can also purchase the Vaypor insoles, which have more arch support, and even stiffer carbon rear. You can also peek inside the shoe, so nice design, you don't have any obvious holes. So you can easily swap these out and you won't have any indentations or bolt to deal with. It's all nicely covered up. Now let's take a look at these shoes on the road. As you can see here, they have very attractive black finish. Although we'd like to see more colors, it's very sleek design, and with all the perforations and simple branding, the shoes should pair with almost anything. You can see they're also very flexible with a nice carbon fiber sole that's well protected with the bumpers on the front and rear. The dual Li2 dials offer excellent adjustment as well, so you can do micro adjusting for tightening or loosening. So while you're riding, you can do little fine adjustments without having to stop. As you can see here, the upper material is nice and soft as well. There's no real structure on the inside, so it's very flexible. And that means there are no pressure points, and it can easily expand as your feet get a little bit wider for longer rides. As far as the performance, we're really impressed with the shoes. You can ride fast, and because you have a stiff carbon fiber sole, you're not losing any watts. So great performance on them, and they really fit like a glove from the first mile. We didn't even do the heat molding as we've done with the previous Vaypor shoes, and still found to be very comfortable, especially in the Euro 44 wide, the same size we have on the other Vaypor shoes. So overall, even though it has a more generic design, I think they've really retained all the performance benefits of Bont shoes, which includes the anatomical shaping, while simplifying things and making it a lot lighter. So a really great shoe overall. I'm sure the name of the shoes will change over time. The 2023 will probably be dropped once we go to 2024, but it's a nice addition to the Vaypor lineup, and another option if you're looking for Bont shoes with a little more traditional shape. Now let's compare the Bont 2023 shoes with other shoes on the market. We actually have the Vaypor S shoes. So you can see very similar design. They both have anatomical shape, and even though these are both the same size, you can see the 2023 ones are just a little bit more streamlined, and they have a more standard lacing pattern. The Vaypor S has this wraparound design with a lace that goes all the way back, while this one has a simple 3-row setup. You can see there's less structure here, while this one is a little bit stiffer, as it has more supports inside it. You can also see that the soles are very similar, but this one does seem to be just a little bit more narrow, and it does have the adjustable cleat position versus the single slot here. We also have the Lake CX242 shoes. So very adjustable. This actually has a split upper, which is quite cool. So they both have the BOA Li2 dials, which is what you're going to find in most high-end shoes. But the upper here is all separate pieces, so you have individual zones. So if you have bunions or other issues, this is a great shoe. A lot of foam on the inside. And again, when you adjust it, you can really dial it in. And you can even move the lacing pattern. This one has a 4-row setup, so you can see top has 2, bottom has 2, and it goes quite a bit lower than I think other shoes on the market. So interesting setup. It has Carbotex material, as well as a very nice glossy carbon base. One of our favorite shoes though is the DMT KR0, so you can see very flexible. It's more of a knitted upper, so very flexible design, almost looks like a water shoe. You can push it all the way down. Dual Li2 dials, beautiful coral color versus the black and white in the Bont. You can see same kind of pattern with the lacing. Dual Li2 dials. Both have carbon fiber. This one's a lot more ventilated versus the Bont. And you can see the Bont is a lot more anatomical, so it's wide all the way through. While most standard shoes go narrow on the inside. They're both comfortable, but obviously the Bont is just a next level fit. If you go down market, you have the Decathlon Van Rysel. This is the Road R520. Nylon sole. You have a single dial. And you can see a much more traditional sole. It's more narrow. It's more flexible because you have the nylon construction. It also supports SPD and SPDSL. But that's a big difference. If you go down market, you can get more affordable shoes, but they're not going to give you the same performance. And one of the most beautiful shoes on the market are the Shimano S-PHYREs. These are the RC903. Beautiful Shimano blue color with this iridescent finish that actually changes colors. You can see you really invested in this wraparound design. So the top wraps around and the bottom even has a wraparound component. The upper also goes down through the base, so you don't have a full carbon fiber sole. It actually is covered up, but it's still there. So very stiff. Feel great on the road, but obviously not as wide. This is a Euro 44 wide as well. But you can see the inner part actually goes a little more narrow, while the Bont extends all the way through. Both of them have this heel cup, so you can see a bit stiffer here, while the Bont extends the carbon fiber and leaves it exposed all the way through. It's a pretty cool option, and I think the new 2023 option should fit a lot more people, and it has a more attractive design. Now let's go over the scorecard for the Bont Vaypor 2023. We're going to grade on 4 different categories: design, closures, comfort, and value. For design, we give it an A. It has a very streamlined shape, so more traditional construction, which is also a lot lighter than the Vaypor S. Closures is also A. You have a nice dual BOA Li2 Fit System, so you have micro adjustments for tightening and loosening. And comfort's also an A. As with a lot of Bont shoes, it's fully anatomical, so it really just fits like a glove from the moment you put it on. And value-wise, given A-, it's quite expensive, as a lot of the more premium shoes are, but otherwise very supportive and sleek with a nice stiff carbon fiber sole that doesn't punish you, so even if you do long rides, they're very comfortable. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.